Here is the team news, and with half a lineup injured, David Moyes had limited room for manoeuvre in terms of his selection. He did consider replacing the cup-tied Joe with Louis Saha, but the Frenchman's fragile fitness made that too big a risk, so the only change to the side that drew at Blackburn sees Marouane Fellaini return. Phil Jagielka again fills in at right back, because Tony Hibbert is among those receiving treatment. It's make do and mend, just as it has been throughout a run of one defeat in 16 games.
Yeah, well, David Moyes sends out his side no matter who he puts in, and probably knows more or less what he's going to get in there. Jagielka and Lescott have been excellent this season. Jagielka's had to go and play right back recently because of the injury to Hibbert, but Yobo comes in again, very, very experienced player in there. Again, no Arteta, but I have to say, young Rodwell's come in. I think he showed maturity beyond his years. He's big, physically he's a big lad as well. He's strong, he's comfortable on the ball. They get good work rate in wide positions from Osman and Pina, always tracking back to help the fullbacks. And it's unorthodox up front, certainly Fellaini is. You know, I'm not quite sure what his best position is, but certainly him and Cahill, John, have filled the void nicely.
Well, for Middlesbrough's players, thumped at Tottenham in the week, a shot at redemption. It's the same team for the fourth game in a row, given another chance on the basis that whilst they fell way short at White Hart Lane, just 4 days earlier, the same lineup had beaten Liverpool. So even Robert Hoot keeps his place. He was substituted at half-time the other night. Marlon King is cup-tied, Afonso Alves has gone down ill, and that is why 18-year-old Jonathan Franks makes the bench for only the second time.
What are you going to say apart from that? Everything's all right for them, but you know, this is the side. I mean, they've got a possible semi-final to look forward to if they get their act together here. You know, a couple of victories, one against West Ham in the last round, then against Liverpool, unexpected, might have given them a bit of confidence. A bad loss at Spurs certainly wouldn't have done anything for their confidence going into this match, but they've got to see what's in front of them there. They've got to defend properly at the back. Certainly Wheater and Hoot, Pogatet's experienced players have to do better. Get Ark on the ball, get Downing on the ball. Should be a good tussle, him and Jagielka. And the Tunchai, I've mentioned them, and Ali Adair, they are capable of giving the right service of winning the game for Middlesbrough.
So here we are at one of the stately homes of English football. Everton's base since 1892. Fellaini wigs very much in evidence. This ground has staged a cup final in 1894 when Notts County beat Bolton, and a final replay in 1910 when Newcastle got the better of Barnsley. 2,500 travelling supporters from Teesside in a crowd of round about 38,000. Middlesbrough's captain Emmanuel Pogatetz remembers the pain of quarter-final defeat last year against Cardiff and is keen to atone. Middlesbrough ready to go, Everton not yet quite there. It is 1 day short of 7 years since these two sides last contested an FA Cup quarter-final. Middlesbrough's 3-0 win at the Riverside, signalling the end of Walter Smith's reign in charge. 4 days later, David Moyes was installed, and what has followed has been a tale of prudence, gradual improvement and quiet achievement, to the point that the next step surely is to try to annex a trophy. Has brought out the best in Middlesbrough. Here come the teams who will emerge, as always, to the theme of the 60s television series Z-Cars, in which Everton's passionate chairman Bill Kenwright was once a rookie actor. Two sides that have embraced the cup and are in it to win it. No half measures, Wembley just one step away. Goodison Park feeling proud and sounding very loud. Everton wading into battle, and it means the Belgian bouffon Marouane Fellaini is the foil for Tim Cahill. Stuart Downing has been a key figure in Middlesbrough's cup run, scoring home and away against West Ham in the last round, and Everton very aware of his threat. Referee Mark Halsey taking charge of his first ever cup quarter-final, and keen to point out that contrary to a newspaper report yesterday, he is fully fit and is not hampered by injury. Quite a breeze blowing. Everton start as favourites, but the Cup has brought the best out of Middlesbrough. Goodison Park staging a quarter-final for the first time in 9 years, when Aston Villa came here and won, and in their team that day was the Middlesbrough manager, Gareth Southgate. Pogatetz with the throw. Here's Downing, and he's up against a makeshift right-back against Jagielka. Of course, that was the case with Skirtle last week, and Martin Skirtle had a very unhappy time of it.
And that should be a good battle, shouldn't it? And we spoke about Downing this came on earlier, and I said about Jagielka's having a wonderful season, primarily as a centre-back, so that should be a good tussle, one to watch out for. Certainly the conditions will affect the game. It's very blustery down there, John.
Downing, faced by Jagielka and by Osman. Here's Pogatetz. And in Jagielka's defence, we should point out he has played a fair amount of football as a right-back. Here's Tunchai. O'Neill keeping it alive for Downing. Arca pursuing. Tim Howard flapping at it. And now trying to recover. Lescott's header. And it's Everton who are making the uncertain start.
A rush of blood there from the keeper, wasn't it?
Downing. And Tim Howard very grateful to get his hands on the ball.
Yeah, it was a decent ball clipped in from Downing here. They had plenty of players forward. Middlesbrough, they've started very positively. Don't know where he's going, Tim Howard, because it's always going away from goal. He's just got to let Pienaar, I think it is, just deal with that there. That's a good header from Lescott in the end. Bails his keeper out.
He's been so reliable, conceding only 5 goals in the last 16 games. As we saw the other day, those who keep serial clean sheets can make blunders. Witness Edwin van der Sar.
He lost a bad one at Liverpool. I can't remember if it was the FA Cup game or the league game when Gerrard scored, but that's the only time I can remember him really making a poor mistake.
David Wheater, one of the FA Youth Cup 2004 products, who come through to the Middlesbrough first team. The Fertile Academy. Pienaar. In was Gary O'Neill. Tunchai. No foul by Baines. Pete's header. Downing into Arca. Middlesbrough in the FA Cup this season is they've played with freedom. Stifled by fear because of their league position. Run-of-the-mill fixtures, but not of one-out, knockout football. That's been concerned. They've played with a swagger. The sort of swagger they showed in the league in the early moments of the season, and Gareth Southgate has been showing them DVDs of the autumn fixtures. Scoring goals.
Well, I'm a great believer, John, that if you get a good run in the FA Cup, it breeds confidence, and there's not many more sides in the Premier League need a boost of confidence than Middlesbrough.
That's Tunchai. Quickly out this time is Howard. Taste of a cup quarter-final for David Moyes. To the semi-final of the League Cup. The FA Cup has been a pretty barren land for him down the years. Neville. Aliadia. Wheater. Lescott. Very rapidly in. Cocketets. Chai down on the heel. Away to Bates. The groans of the home supporters.
There's a good atmosphere in Goodison this afternoon, very good. Middlesbrough fans have travelled in good numbers as well, anticipating a decent performance from the side, but a bit of trepidation I think from them, what they're going to get. Both sides have matched up, the type of formation they're playing, so both get 2 up, both get 4 across the middle. Should be a straight battle really.
Point. Records of these two sides. Everton 1 defeat in 16, Middlesbrough 1 win in 16 league games. It's just catching Cahill in his follow through.
Yeah, studs were up. He just caught Tim Cahill, as you said there. It was a poor sloppy pass from Arca initially. Definitely plays the ball, just catches him on the follow through. Interesting to see how Borough coped with Tim Cahill today from set pieces and balls into the box. Not many have.
Just glad not to be playing against Robbie Keane and Aaron Lennon today. Those are the two that destroyed them at White Hart Lane. Yobo. Fellaini. Here's Cahill. Flags up.
Just off, he just goes a little bit too early there, Tim Cahill. Good diagonal ball into Fellaini, which would be the plan for them, because he's going to win most of them, you would imagine here. It's a very tight call. He's probably about a foot off, but I think it's the right decision from the referee's assistant. A little warning for Middlesbrough.
Sunshine. Pienaar, O'Neill. O'Neill is tripped. And Stuart Downing will fancy whipping this in, left-footed. To attack it, Cocketets and Hoot and Wheater, 3/4 of the defensive line. Middlesbrough desperately short of goals. In by Downing, out by Jagielka. Downing once more. Ali Adier got a touch that took it away from Wheater behind him. Cocketets. Parker. Wheater, here's O'Neill and he's offside.
And just snuck in round the back. Stephen Pienaar actually doing a very good job tracking back. As well offside. Does get a little flick on it. And again, you just see the work rate of Pienaar there, getting round the back. Both wide players for Everton always do that.
Fellaini. This is Bates, who's adjusted reasonably well in the past 2 or 3 weeks to a new role in midfield. Parker. This is Matthew Bates. Stuart Downing. Yobo. Here's O'Neill. Rodwell's clearance interests Cahill and worries Wheater, and is collected by Brad Jones.
Yeah, I mean that ball, I think most days wouldn't have made it through to Brad Jones there, but it was the wind that carried it on through, and in the end the 2 centre halves didn't have to make a decision. Good start from Middlesbrough though, a little bit of purpose about their game, picking up all the second balls so far in midfield.
O'Neill. been centrally involved so far. Bates. Justin Hoyt, the former Arsenal fullback. Now Matthew Bates. 3 up with him. Ali Adier, good chance.
Very good chance, leaning back. Tim Howell is out. He is going absolutely bananas at his defenders here. This is far too easy getting in, not tracking runners. He doesn't make a run here, Ali Adier. He just hangs out, waiting for the ball to be cut back to him from Bates. It is, and well, I think that should be a goal. At the very least, he's got to be hitting the target. They're applauded by his manager, but he'll be frustrated with that.
And that's his problem, Ali Adier. Talented player, no question. But his goal-scoring record, 8 in 57 games for the club.
Awful. Good chance that was. Very, very good chance.
The referee looks across as Fellaini makes the tackle. And his assistant advises him that it's a goal kick.
Not quite sure why Mark House is looking across at his assistant there when he was 5 yards away and the assistant was best party, 75 yards.
Who's being helped by the wind and who's being hindered?
Well, it looks as if the wind's blowing down to the way Everton are attacking at the moment, but I think that's actually hindering them. I think it's helping Borough, who have put a couple of long balls up and they've actually held up in the wind, and that's given them a chance to go and compete for it. And I suppose if they keep it on the floor, none of them will be hindered.
It's a ball given.
There's certainly quite a few groans coming from the home crowd at the moment, John, so they haven't started the way David Moyes would have wanted them. And I think Gareth Southgate will be pretty pleased with the way his side have come out and gone about this first 12 minutes.
Rita. Neville. Rodwell. Did hit a hand, but at point blank range. Ali Adier. O'Neill. Bates. These were looking eager and composed. And here's Stuart Downing. 2 to deal with. In the way. Sent it to Tunchai. Now Middlesbrough needs someone in the middle. Ali Adier. Well, it's ponderous from Everton so far. Downing. Downing. There's Pienaar. Hoot. Not the start that Everton and David Moyes were looking for. Now without their most potent goal scorer, Yakubu. The old Middlesbrough, and of course their most artful and creative player, Mikel Arteta.
I mean, he's a huge loss for them, isn't he? I know I spoke about young Rodwell's come in and really looked the part, I have to say, is very early in his career, but Arteta goes and gets it and makes it happen and plays clever little balls round the corner and up to strikers. And, they just miss that when he's not on the side.
Positive news on the Arteta front is that he underwent successful knee surgery in Barcelona on Tuesday. Yeah, 6 months.
It's got to be a fall, surely.
Play on, this is Pienaar. Baines. Everton have got the decision they want.
He's got to give him a free kick there, I think, is he? It's certainly come off Baines last straight. Yeah, he's given a free kick, that's what he's given. First time we've seen the full-back getting forward. A bit of a lunge from O'Neill there. Good chance for Everton now. First one of the game for them to get a decent ball in. You can see Cahill run about the goalkeeper again. And Big Fellaini at the back post.
Significant threat to Middlesbrough. It's Baines. It's Fellaini. It's Bates that got his head to it. And now Pienaar for Everton. Osman. And again Leon Osman. Corner. And the first opportunity for the crowd to open their throats and roar their encouragement for Everton. And in the league game at the Riverside on Boxing Day, the last meeting between these sides, Middlesbrough struggled against Evertonian corners. The difference being that day they were delivered by Arteta. Too much physical contact for the referee's liking in there. This is Osman. That's Yobo.
Free header. Always really difficult to get the pace on this because the ball's clipped in rather than driven in, so he's got to generate the pace on the header, which is very difficult from that angle. It's interesting, it was Matthew Bates that was picking up Tim Cahill there. I've always said in the games we've covered, John, I always feel you've got to allocate one of your centre-halves to go and pick him up, such as he's a danger from balls into the box. I suppose when you've got Yobo and Lescott up as well, then you've got a decision to make. That's the problem. You're caught between a rock and a hard place, really.
Fellaini. Free kick against Pogatetz, who argues back to the referee. He must be pretty close to arguing himself into Mark Halsey's notebook.
Well, the Everton crowd felt they should have had a free kick, a couple of minutes ago. It was Hood on Fellaini, the same player, and this time it's Pogatetz. I think you can see the arms around him there. Fellaini's definitely backing into him, but as soon as you put your arms up there, you're going to give a free kick away, and that's what Mark Halsey was telling him, Pogatetz. I just wonder if it's in Leighton Baines' range, this.
It could be wind assisted, to a degree.
Yeah. Certainly with the way the wall's lined up, the keeper thinks they're going to go for the strike here. The wall's not 10 yards either, that's for sure.
It's hardly a solid affair, the wall. And it's Osman. Here comes Fellaini. And then a little contretemps involving Downing and Fellaini, which Downing has limped away. Philip Neville. Yobo.
Yeah, that's that ball I'm talking about, John. They can't play that Everton, that straight high ball, because the wind's just going to take it through the goalkeeper. Simple. They've got to get it down on the deck there.
That's called by Philip Neville, referee with the whistle at his lips.
Mark Halsey tried to play a little bit of advantage here, but never weren't going anywhere, so brought it back.
Middlesbrough, in the league at least, have been strangled by a lack of goals. They share with Elgin City, bottom of the Scottish Third Division, the dubious distinction of being the lowest league scorers in senior British football this season, with just 20. It's number 20, Arca, who takes this. It's beyond David Wheater. Probably the happier of the two managers so far, Gareth Southgate.
I would say so. Good voice, the Borough fans, they're come down in their numbers.
Pass for a Congo.
Not quite. Bates and Arkan picking up more loose balls, John, than Rodwell and Neville are at the moment. Just can't quite find that killer instinct at the end of that final passes. The one that was played in, I suppose, for Ali Adair from Bates, and he should have really put it in the back of the net or hit the target. Apart from that, there's not been much.
Chelsea through efficiently yesterday. Manchester United through majestically. Arsenal yet to contest their quarter-final, having beaten Burnley 3-0 in the one outstanding fifth-round tie a little earlier today. Remain only vie with Hull for their place in the last four.
Some cracking goals in that Arsenal game. It was from perspective of Arsenal, the type of play, the movement, the finishes. It was excellent stuff. It really was.
Just last season, the lesser lights had their say in the FA Cup competition. This year, the heavyweights are reasserting themselves, it seems. It's Ali Adair on Yobo's head, on the chest of Baines. Foul by Adair on Lescott.
Let's have a look at some early rough treatment for Fellaini. Maybe try to noise him up a little bit. His temperament has been questioned one or two times. You can see there the arm comes up and hits him. Maybe try to stoke a little reaction from him. He's picked up quite a few yellow cards this season, John, hasn't he?
And again, Robert Hoot this time with him. And the crowd are on his side.
Well, I think if they keep doing this to him, if the referee doesn't do something about it, then I think he will react. I think he's shown himself as that type of player.
Just the 12 yellow cards this season.
Yeah, and some of them really stupid as well. There's no need for some. Obviously, you're going to pick some up with challenges, and it has been picked quite a few up for dissent and raising arms and things like that. Very unorthodox, isn't he, in the way he goes about. He came in here as a midfielder, didn't he? But I just don't see him as a centre midfielder, I have to say.
He says he prefers playing as a holding midfielder.
I don't think he's got quick enough feet to play in there.
It's the club record signing at £15 million. Here's Osman. Clever header from Kovacic. Some space and time for Arca. This is O'Neill. And now Justin Hoyt.
Lescott looked at Tim Howard there, but the keeper's sort of nodded him, didn't fancy it on his left foot. Just get it, stick it out, mate.
Gary O'Neill. Lescott. Rodwell. Tunchai. Rodwell. Pienaar. Fellaini. And Cahill ahead of him. Kovacic. It's all just a little wayward at the moment. Close to the bench, hearing one or two instructions from David Moyes. Fellaini. He'll dispossess Pienaar. Tunchai, Middlesbrough throw. He's looking rather agitated at the moment. Everton's boss took over 4 days after the previous FA Cup quarter-final involving these two teams. 7 years in charge this coming week. Hoots. He's a player who seems to be a shadow of his former self. Buccaneering centre-back with Germany when they hosted the World Cup in 2006, but not selected since. Jagielka. And Osman. Deflected, it is a corner, despite Middlesbrough's arguments.
Yeah, challenge came in from Bates. Bit of a dive in the end as these balls just hoofed in from Jagielka really, and Tim Cahill was just backing in. A poor touch initially from Bates, edge of the box, and he tries to make amends.
Here's the main threat. Was allowed to drift right across the 6-yard box.
Well, there's two Everton players at the back post, Yobo and Cahill, and how this ball's made it all the way across here without anybody getting a touch on it, I'll never know. Cracking ball in, it really was. A bit of jostling going on at the front post, and well, I think it's there for somebody if they can just anticipate it. A little touch off Matthew Bates as well, could easily have got in his own goal. Certainly should have been a corner kick. Look at the rest in there, Hoots and Fellaini again. Again he's complaining about a knock in the face, the big fella. Watch out for that one. That's going to continue for sure.
Tunchai.
You know, with that type of wrestling, John, in the box, I think if can be spotted and referees start giving penalties, they'll soon put a stop to it.
Fellaini. Got a man to deal with, and so is he. Considering that neither of them are proper strikers, with respect to the pair of them, but Everton have continued to win and to score goals, much tribute to their efforts. Fellaini. Pinar, this is Hoyt. Like an arm in Cahill's face, or certainly up there near his throat from Hoot.
Yeah, right arm. I didn't think Cahill had an eye on him and Hoot spotted it.
Here comes Downing, marshalled by Jagielka.
I don't think it'll be too long if the Middlesbrough two centre-halves, John, continue the way they are, that Mark Hawkes is going to start pulling them up. So look at this again. And the right arm comes up. He doesn't, just sticks it out a little bit. He doesn't make any motion to send it towards, bang it into Cahill's chin there. So I think that's the way he gets away with it.
He is on the side of leniency, Mark Halsey. Officials that the players like working with feel that he gives them a chance to play. When Fellaini's short fuse will blow. Neville. Misjudgment from Hoot.
Important challenge by Yobo. tracked him back, and it just wouldn't sit down for Ali Adair there. It just, there's a nice little ball in behind from Tunchay, but it just takes quite a high bounce there. He's got to wait for it to come down, and that allows Yobo to get the challenge in.
Double bill of Barclays Premier League action, and next weekend here on Setanta Sports, Chelsea-Manchester City. Here's the Sunday lunchtime game, and then on the Monday night, West Ham against West Brom. Bottom team in the league at the moment. Southampton Park. At some point next week, we will also have live coverage of the remaining FA Cup quarter-final from the Emirates between Arsenal and Hull City. A date for that fixture yet to be confirmed. Julio Arca, Matthew Bates, nicely away from Pienaar, O'Neill, Jagielka, and now Osman. Fellaini, Pienaar, that's out.
Oh, that was a simple ball. Pienaar had to play there to Leighton Baines, who lost a gut to get forward really, and had acres of space to get into John, and well, that probably sums up the first 33 minutes really of this game. It's been a bit like a hot spud, the ball at times. It's getting weathered about, the conditions are blustery. It was a simple pass there from Pienaar. It was played poorly.
Jagielka, Rita, Leighton Baines, Rita, drifted out of play. Everton have a corner.
They didn't defend the last corner particularly well. They got away with it actually, because Matthew Bates glanced it out through another corner.
And this one's short, changing the angle for Pienaar. And Jones, confidently and competently out. To wait a long time for his chance, Brad Jones, with the consistency of Mark Schwarzer. And then he injured himself, dislocated a finger in the warm-up at Liverpool back in August, and lost his place for half the season to Ross Turnbull. Jagielka. Rodwell. It's Yobo.
It's all a bit rushed at the moment from Everton, and that's where, when you've got somebody like Arteta on the side, he goes and he demands the ball and he wants it all the time. It's a big responsibility for somebody like young Rodwell to come in and do that on a regular basis. It was more of a defensive midfielder, you would say, so not a great deal of industry in there at the moment.
Concerned about the workload placed on a comparatively small squad. O'Neill. Fellaini. Waits. Pretty theatrically. The referee was convinced.
I thought Jagielka got a bit of the ball here before. A good look, mate. It comes through the back of Pogatetz, so not Halsey was right, just caught him on the foot actually. So a good chance here for Burrett. Put something decent in the box with the conditions and try and. Looks like it's going to be an in-swinger from O'Neill. Try and get it round about the 6-yard box and pile some bodies in there.
Some big bodies to be piled in there. Pogatetz, Hoot, Wheater. Aliadier is waiting round the back. It isn't marked at the moment. Voigt. Matthew Bates. And Cahill away. Voigt again. Downing. There's a good opportunity for Stuart Downing there. An Everton defender on the floor in front of him.
He didn't fancy it on his right foot, did he? I mean, he came back inside and just run out of ideas really. I don't know what he was trying to do in the end, but certainly Everton look a little bit more edgy at the back than certainly in recent weeks. Whenever we've watched them, they've looked very assured.
Here's Cahill. And Hoot has got a problem of dealing with him. And the Gladys Street end asked the question of the referee, rather more than the players did.
Yeah, there was a little shove, but he just leaned into him a little bit. You're never going to get a penalty for it. As I think one or two were asking for us. We see the injury here to Aliadier. Let's have a look at this again on the break. He does lean on him here. You can just see the left arm will come up, and a little nudge puts him off his stride. One or two half-hearted shouts for a penalty, but not in a million years.
Jeremy Aliadier is still down. Striker that Everton opted not to play from the start today, Louis Saha. Aliadier is a fairly fragile character physically. He's had his share of injuries.
Well, when you look at the Middlesbrough bench, I think Gareth Southgate has to be praying that he's going to be able to play on, because they've got nothing on the bench really. We think he's just twisted it the way he's just gone over on his ankle there, and whether the weight of Lescott helped him go over on it, I don't know.
So Alves is ill, which rather limits the options available to Gareth Southgate. Marvin Emnes is one. They've got an 18-year-old forward player, Jonathan Franks, they've had to name in their matchday squad today for only the second time. Aliadier is back on and moving reasonably well. Jack Rodwell for Everton. Neville. Yobo. Fellaini. The impatience of the home supporters. Yeah, they expect Everton to win.
Just nowhere for Everton to go there, was it? Ended up back at Lescott. I thought he was going to go back to his goalkeeper at one point. They'd all pushed forward far too quickly there.
Destructive shot, wasn't it, with the crutch alongside the fans? Even the supporters are injured.
He's not comfortable when that ball goes back to him, Tim Howard is. He's like nervous.
Pienaar. Baines. Taking on O'Neill. Cahill. He's playing tricks with the ball. Jagielka. Fellaini! Poured away by Brad Jones.
Oh, a decent header from him as he peels off the back of I think it was David Wheater in the end, and that's the type of movement that he's got to provide for them. Just pulling on the diagonal where they can clip that little ball into the back post, and you'll see Cahill there as well in the middle of your screen. He always looks to try and make a run off it. He didn't really try and help out his fellow attacker there, and it was always comfortable for the keeper.
So another chance for Everton to practice their set-piece speciality. And Mark Halsey unhappy with some of the activities as the ball was played in. Fellaini in the thick of it.
It's Fellaini and Robert Hoot again. We'll have a look at him here. Hoot's holding him to start with, and then goodness, the referee's got, he's got to get some help from his fourth official, from his assistant referee here, who's on that side. I have to say, that's the type of challenge I'm talking about, John, from Hoot. If that's going to continue, holding like that in the box, I think you give a penalty kick. And if that doesn't stop it, you give another one until they get the message.
One good chance to either side, really. Ali Adier, fairly early in the game for Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
Fellaini's header for Everton.
Yeah, it was Ali Adier's chance was probably the better one. That was a difficult header for Fellaini. It's been, he's not getting away from it. It's been a first half really devoid of any real quality. I suppose there's a lot at stake here. Semi-final place. Conditions are not easy, but neither side's really got it down and dominated the game.
In the wars again. Free kick's gone against him.
Gets everywhere, this fella, doesn't he?
It seems like it, but he is difficult to miss.
He's not exactly inconspicuous, is he? Pinar and him there have both got the studs up. So it could have been given against either of them, really. And I suppose it's been a first half really where set pieces have been probably the best chance for either side to get on the score sheet.
Downing. Rodwell. Passed away, and he's found Osman. Arthur is the Middlesbrough player. Osman gives a cheap free kick.
He doesn't need to do that there. The crowd are moaning, and I think Arthur's looking for it as well, but he's clever enough to know that he's under a bit of pressure. You can see him looking at him there. He's going nowhere. Arca, he's heading back towards his own goals. There's no need for Osman to do that. Let's see if Middlesbrough can produce something a bit better here. 3 or 4 set pieces so far. They've not put any decent delivery in, really. Hit the first man.
Gary O'Neill. Yobo's head. Bates with any number of colleagues still forward. David Wheater! That was over the line. Linesman is signalling goal, and Middlesbrough have the lead in the cup quarter-final at Goodison Park, and it's the local boy David Wheater.
Well, I have to say, my instinct from up here in the gantry, and I'm not looking straight across at it, I felt that was in as well. I think if you watched Tim Howard here as well when Wheater heads us, I don't know what he's doing. He's like a jack in the box on his line here. The crowd were moaning initially as this ball was headed out because Bates picked it up. He wasn't under any great deal of pressure here until Pinar comes back in. It's clipped into the back post, and it's definitely a goal. Of that there's no doubt, but what's he doing, Tim Howard? It's there for him on his left hand. Maybe I'm a bit harsh on him, I don't know. Good header from Wheater, really positive I have to say, keeps it down, hits the target. They've had the better chances, John, and Everton haven't really got started, and they've paid the penalty. It's been a good first half for Gareth Southgate.
It's the first goal from open play that Everton have conceded in their last 7.5 games. A rugged first period, and a rugged Middlesbrough defender has put his side in front here. This though is Baines. There's Lescott. It hit Bates. And then there was a half-hearted appeal for handball against Hoyt.
That was a good chance, half a chance there for Lescott. I did say earlier though that Everton were looking more edgy at the back, John, and I think we've seen them in recent weeks. They've been so assured defensively recently. Well, I think you'll have a big half-time team talk. David Moyes, a bit of geeing up these players. They've not got going at all. Not got going.
But credit to Middlesbrough. They started well. Yes. They've stuck at it.
Yeah, they've come out, they did the first 5 minutes. They were really positive. Set the tone really.
Downing. Pulled over by Neville. The half will finish with another Middlesbrough free kick.
And the second one really would put the cat among the pigeons going into half time, and another chance to put a good set piece in it. A little push from Neville. I just don't know if I'm being harsh on the goalkeeper or not, but I just don't know what he was doing at the goal either. I'm not sure to defend this one any better.
O'Neill. Pogatetz threw himself at the ball. Couldn't quite get there. And Middlesbrough are going to head in with a half-time advantage here. Southgate, who knows what it takes to win a quarter-final on this ground. He did so as a player with Aston Villa 9 years ago, and his team lead through David Wheater's goal in the penultimate minute of a tightly contested first half, with a big question mark against the role in the goal of Everton's normally reliable goalkeeper, Tim Howard. David Wheater is what you see: rugged, no nonsense, effective, domineering when given a chance like that. He has scored for the first time since the opening day of the season, and at Goodison Park it is near silence from the home supporters, because it's Everton 0, Middlesbrough 1. And this is a change that probably Everton had to make, sending on Zaha. Meanwhile, Tim Cahill will provide support for the Frenchman, and there is one of his two sons. Oops. Kaya and Shea occupying one of the executive boxes. Fortunately, none the worse for a tumble. As tough as his dad.
They are brave, John, the way they're dressed as well. Freezing here. Shots on. I'm not surprised at the sub, though, I have to say. I don't think it was any reflection on Rodwell's performance, but he's the most inexperienced player in the Everton side, so just dropped either Fellaini or Cahill probably back into midfield. Zaha comes on. The lads did mention it. Woodland, who have caught well with the sort of long balls up. They need somebody with a bit of pace that can get down the sides, and Zaha should give them that.
Middlesbrough are 45 minutes from Wembley. Everton, having shown little of their recent defiance, they've been disjointed and disappointing. Middlesbrough have stuck well to their task. The one half-time change by Everton, Louis Zaha replacing Jack Rodwell, and we are assured by the Everton bench it is purely tactical. To Fellaini. Certainly give Middlesbrough's defenders a different dimension to think about and to try and cope with.
Yeah, well, they'll obviously get the physical presence of Fellaini, who was involved in quite a few tussles in the first half, but now they've got to think about the pacey Zaha spinning in behind her, or getting in behind between centre half and full back. Something that you're never going to get from Cahill and Fellaini, so it's another option for them, and it had to be made, John. Simple, the game wasn't going Everton's way in the first half. It was a big half time for David Moyes. Let's see if it's had any effect.
Just one thought on how they're now lining up. The fact that Fellaini is the player that's up there with Zaha, and yet Cahill, who would normally play off the striker, an orthodox midfielder.
The instructions to him will be is to try and get up and support and get beyond every opportunity. As we see another free kick given away from Fellaini here, another reaction from him. I think he's got to be a little bit careful. The dissent he shows to Mark Halsey. Well, you mentioned Mark Halsey's very reluctant to give out yellow cards willy-nilly, which is a good thing, but he doesn't want to be trying his patience, that's for sure.
O'Neill with the free kick. Pogatetz. Southgate. Conversation there with Steve Agnew, one of his coaches. O'Neill. Aliadier for Tunchai. And Aliadier! Deflection on that. Took it wide of the post, but it was another gilt-edged chance.
It was good play from I don't think he quite catches this here. Well, a little bit unlucky maybe, but Lescott's right in front of him, so wasn't really anywhere for him to go, and it dropped up so quickly.
Middlesbrough's first corner of the afternoon. It's comfortable for Tim Howard. Hands off Bates.
Let's have a look to see if there's any wrestling in this box. Certainly Fellaini, Huth, Wheater, most players. See if Mark House is keeping his eye on it, taking it short.
Here's Baines. Bates head up, finds out the idea. Go nowhere other than backwards.
If they looked up, there's 4 Middlesbrough players out on the left hand side on the break as well. He just never picked his head up there.
Now to prove of Louis Saha's arrival on the pitch. His best is a feline mover. A class act, but never seems to be fit for very long. He does have 22 to prove. Some of the players who play deal, they knew what they were buying into, the management here. Cahill. Osman. Cahill's ball in. There's Fellaini! And the goalkeeper was in no man's land. And Marouane Fellaini levels for Everton. Again, question mark against the keeper.
Oh, Goodison's going bananas, but that's what he gives you, the big fella, that presence in the box. But it's a decent ball in, but just what the goalkeeper's doing here, I've got to tell you folks, I haven't got a clue. He comes off his line, he stops, he hesitates. Once he's made that decision to come, he's got to go all the way. He's got to go in there and he's got to smash Fellaini. He's got to try and get the ball, take the man, he does it. Credit to Fellaini, that's a good leap under pressure from Robert Huth there, but all he's got to do then, John, is hit the target because the keeper is posted missing.
Goals from 2 giants, 2 goalkeeping blunders, and a cup quarter-final that is now level once more.
It's all about decisions, and for goalkeepers they usually only get 1 chance, and if they get it wrong they usually get punished. Middlesbrough I have to say there's been a bit better tempo from Everton starting this second half. The crowd are lifted. David Moyes has made the change with Saha coming on.
Scott. Osman from Neville. There is a zest about Everton that wasn't there for most of the first half. Exemplified there by Leon Osman.
He want to watch there Fellaini when this ball comes in because I don't think there's enough pace on it and he's under pressure from Robert Huth. I think if Brad Jones stays on his line then he's not scoring there, John. I don't think he can get enough power in that header, but as I say, he's one to watch because the keeper comes out, makes a dreadful decision, and all he's got to do then is get his head on it. He was always favourite and he guided it in. Perfect start for the second half for Everton, lifted the crowd. Certainly looks as if now we're going to get to see a better second half than we did first, that's for sure.
It's spinning, but there's no foul. And this is Pino. Christian Hoyt's tackle. Saha. Goal scorer waiting between the 2 central defenders, Wheater and Hoot. That's Wheater. There's Pinar. Cahill, whose ball in, caused the indecision from Jones. Baines. Pinar. Hoyt came careering in. Referee wants to play an advantage. And he's not afraid to pull it back a long way, Mark Halsey.
See, I think that's good refereeing, to be fair. You know, his common sense prevails, which we don't say that very often. We're talking about officials, unfortunately.
question about to be asked of Middlesbrough. And the Giants populated by Fellaini, Lescott, Cahill, who jumps like a giant, certainly gets the sort of height that Fellaini does. Zaha had the effort. Bates goes down, flattened.
Hits him in the face, doesn't it? As he gets a really poor punch from the goalkeeper. He actually punched it back in towards his own goal. And then there was a high boot, I think it was from Tim Cahill. Good free kick in from Baines here. The keeper's in the right muddle again. That's a shot from Zaha. Passes on to Bates, and now the keeper's lacking confidence after that mistake, that's for sure. Catches Bates flush in the forehead, and that's why he's down. Poor goalkeeping again. Got away with it this time, but that ball almost dropped at Tim Cahill, probably the last guy you'd want it to fall to. And, well, so I'm thinking it'll be done for Gareth Southgate now.
Bates just querying whether he has to go off. Of course he does, as the rules currently stand. Picture of calm, Gareth Southgate. Not many histrionics on the manager of Middlesbrough. Dismayed at the manner in which they conceded the equalising goal. David Moyes, who has won with the supporters of this club, the fact that he arrived in the job 7 years ago this week and quickly coined the phrase Everton the People's Club, resonated with the loyal supporters here. And theirs has been a close bond ever since. Is back on.
Stand by for Operation Woodison exercise. Stand by
Osman.
for Operation Woodison exercise.
Now with Baines in support. Zaha. Level. Beaten off it by Osman. Zaha determined to go for the spectacular. Pinar and Zaha, as fabulous as he is fragile, and sending Everton spinning closer to an FA Cup semi-final. The half-time sub has helped to turn this tide.
What a 10-minute period this has been for Everton. How to turn the game around, folks. You've just witnessed it. It's good, tenacious play. That's something they weren't doing in the first half. It was Osman that's him picking up the second balls, and again, watch here. He drifts in behind Wheater, and again the goalkeeper. He's not getting much help from his big centre half. I have to say that. That's a wonderful header. The ball in, well, that's just as good. All it needs to flick. Because once again, the keeper's not at home, it's an empty net, and Everton, well, from a game that they haven't really got started, they're starting to take control.
And Louis Zaha renews his love affair with the FA Cup. Scored on his debut in the competition for Newcastle a decade ago, his 8th cup goal, and one that could prove oh so important for Everton.
Wasn't that the pitch of a ball in from Pinar as well? Cracking ball, I mean, really difficult to defend. Credit Zaha. That's what he's been brought in here to do, but if they can only just keep him fit, but how many managers have said that about him? And that's his problem. You can't talk about his lack of quality, you can't talk about his lack of games, and that's the only problem for them. Job done so far though.
Well, they thought long and hard over starting him today. Back from hamstring trouble. He's also carrying a thigh problem. Never seems to be far away from the next niggling injury. And even for those following more than one cause, as well as those totally devoted to the Blues. An uplifting start to this second half. 2 goals in 7 minutes. Middlesbrough having taken the lead very late in the first period through David Wheater.
thought that second one, John, was more difficult for the goalkeeper, to be fair to him, but I still think he covered himself in glory. Because again, I mean, it was an empty net, but I suppose with the quality of the ball, then he certainly had a decision to make. You can see how Everton have turned this game round in terms of possession.
So far, responsible for the concession of the goal to Wheater. Wins not helping the outfield players and making life awkward for the goalkeepers on occasion.
They got it down now, Everton. They got it down, started passing it. That's the difference.
Pienaar fouls Downing.
Look, just before that goal, John, the second one, when that ball dropped at the edge of the box, Leon Osman was onto it like a flash. Got the challenge in, won it back. Played the ball in, and Pienaar retrieved it and obviously put the cross in, but that was the difference. They weren't doing that in the first half. They weren't picking the second balls up when they dropped. They were half a yard short. They just upped the tempo. They've obviously had a fair talking to at half time from their manager.
O'Neill. Determinate.
Well, it's not been a good start to the second half for this fella. 2 goals so far for Everton. 2 headers, first one Fellaini, keeper in no man's land. Second one a peach of a ball in from Pienaar. The half-time sub, Zaha, and again, I suppose you could say the goalkeeper, he's posted missing. It's an empty net. Lovely little flick from a great ball. That's how you turn a 1-0 deficit into a 2-1 lead. In the space of 10 minutes.
Downing. There's no point in Middlesbrough being ponderous or feeling sorry for themselves. 10 league games to try and save their skins. The Cup has provided some light relief. Teams that play with a bit of freedom without the suffocating pressure. There's still half an hour for them here.
As I said, if they can get a run, I mean, if they can get a victory here and they go into the semi, it breeds a bit of confidence at the football club. If you're just getting pasted week in, week out, it doesn't do any good to anybody. The players are going in, the chins are on the floor, so you need to pick them up. And this might just be it for them, but they're going to roll their sleeves up now, that's for sure. Zaha had every right to go for that, and Pogatetz was trying to shield it out, and possibly was a little bit of a lunge from him here, but so the ball's there to try and win, and you can see Pogatetz just coming across to his right to try and block him.
Much better atmosphere inside Goodison now, unsurprisingly. And a much better cup tie too. Fellaini on. O'Neill away. Julian Lescott. Try. The referee says, hey, I was fouled. The referee looks at him and says, hey, you've still got the ball. Pogatetz.
Commence Operation Goodison exercise. Commence Operation Goodison exercise.
I think Everton commenced Operation Goodison exercise just after half-time, didn't they?
I've got to say, it's probably the loudest tannoy in the Premier League, this one. I hope she's not as loud as that at home.
Friends, have you heard the good news? Zaha. Stuck in the middle of it. Cahill. The referee on the scene quickly. Everton will get their free kick.
It was a real mishmash, wasn't it? 5 yards further out from that, and then somehow the ball ended up back at Cahill, I think. He's definitely pulled back here. Robert Huth got the arm on him, and then Pogatetz dives in as well.
It was a a Scottish commentator of some repute used to call a stramash.
Stramash, well, whatever you want to call it, it certainly went in Everton's favour. I mean, there was about 4 or 5 players vying for the ball on the ground. But the end result, I suppose, is 25 yards out, bang in the middle.
No Arteta, but
not what the goalkeeper, because his confidence is at rock bottom. He won't have much of a view because of the possession of the ball, so he'll have to line the wall up pretty much in the middle of his goals. I think this is Leighton Baines' left foot, no Pienaar's there, but I think it goes to the goalkeeper's right. His best option, John.
It's Baines, clips the top of the bar with the goalkeeper standing, statuesque.
Yeah, well, he went to his left actually, which is the more difficult option to get it up and back down again. And boy, I mean, he nearly pulls it off here. Keeper's not moved. That he's beaten 6 inches lower. It's in the back of the net. Cracking free kick there from Leighton Baines. Never scored for Everton. Almost did there though. Surprised me with this, would it? I mean, they've got to have expected some Everton type of revival.
Absolutely. What Gareth Southgate would love to be able to do would be to turn round, look at his bench and think, well, I can change it, but I'm not sure he can.
No, he just can't. Well, I suppose Emnes is one player, he's got a little bit of pace about him up front.
Adam Johnson too, possibly.
Yeah, possibly, but apart from that, he's really hamstrung.
There's some activity now. Adam Johnson, one of those stripping off, and I think Emnes is the other. Jones sends the ball to the mercy of the gusting wind. On the back, Vita and Jagielka. Johnson, and it will be Emnes. Two more predominantly wide players. A bit of pace, a bit of art.
He's not taken down enough, is he? That was good timing, wasn't it? As he had a poor touch there. But he can't produce something, so you've got to leave players on the pitch that can turn the game around for you.
The FA Cup for Middlesbrough so far this season, scoring home and away against West Ham. Yobo. Pienaar. That's an awful lot of Fellaini. Will not be cut, by the way, until the end of the season. We're told that Julio Arca is one of those who's going to be withdrawn. The fact that Baines is down feeling an injury may influence the decisions that are being made, because Ali Adier is the other player that Middlesbrough are planning to withdraw.
I thought he might be the one that certainly weren't going to take Tunchai off. We have a look at the injury here. Matthew Bates, it's the Phil Neville went through and played the ball there, and just to follow through caught him. But he hasn't wasted any time. Gareth Southgate, they need to change something. It's not going their way. They've been under the cost. They created something. I think it was the first minute or two of the second half when Ali Adier had half a chance. Left foot, he had to take it quickly. It hit Lescott, but apart from that, second half, Tim Howells had nothing to do.
They managed to restore Bates up to a point. Chris Mosley, the physio. Now the substitutions can be made. Adier has already gone off, so Emnes is replacing him. And I think they're going to wait on the second one, which was going to be Johnson for Arca, but they want to see how Bates is. Marvin Emnes, Dutch under-21 international. He started one game for the club, so from Sparta Rotterdam. They did back the winner at Wolves in round 4 of the Eon-sponsored FA Cup. Back comes Bates. Just the one substitution made so far then. Shielding it from Saha, who is flagged against by the referee's assistant.
Against Saha. Is he not entitled to go for it?
I thought he was. You're not turning on the officials, are you?
This is a fine match so far. I'm not quite sure about the assistants at times, some of the decisions they make or don't make.
Operation Goodison exercise. All clear, Operation Goodison exercise.
Clear now that exercise. Ennis has gone up front, John. Straight swap, really. Something with Tom Jack.
Bates. Ooh. Good for Howard. Because Adam Johnson was sat down again. Middlesbrough bench. Rita. Yobo only as far as O'Neill. And Middlesbrough need a second wind here. Robustly in the first half, started brightly. Rarely been in it since half time. Jagielka. Three times in the FA Cup for Neville. Kovacic. Cahill. This year's semi-finals are to be played at Wembley, and the semi-final draw is live on Setanta Sports 1, this channel, at 6:45 this evening. Don't forget also that the one remaining Cup quarter-final, Arsenal against Hull, will be live on Setanta. Date for that to be confirmed.
Adam Johnson.
Bates' knock has influenced the substitution. Instead of Arca going off, it is Matthew Bates and Adam Johnson on. O'Neill. Julian Lescott brings it away. Can't stop Emnes. How much further? Takes Arca to stop him. Downing.
Roy the Rovers there, Julian Lescott, wasn't he? Just marauding forward, showing great power and a good bit of pace as well, it was to be said.
Quarter-final, new territory territory for Everton's manager. Everton as a club, 5 times winners. They've not been to a semi-final since the last season that they won the cup. 1995, that poor ride-out goal against Manchester United. It's taken quickly, it's Downing. Was a chance.
Well, it was a quick free kick from Pogatet, spotted the run of Downing really well. Very difficult ball to take down. He was under a bit of pressure as well from Lescott here. Might have been able to take it first time, which would have been really, really difficult.
He's going to blow here. Always gives the advantage every chance. It didn't accrue.
Well, that's a free kick that the home crowd felt. They had quite a few in the first half, and again it's Robert Huth. He's just too tight to him there. He's all over the back of him. He's got to give himself a yard or two to get a run on it.
Fellaini, it's O'Neill, Tinchai, Arca, Emnes, losing threat Middlesbrough at the moment. After all, the shot-shy team in the Barclays Premier League, week in, week out. Kinder to them.
There's no real cutting edge to their game at the moment, but I think Everton will be mindful that one goal lead, John, at the end of the day, that can soon evaporate. We've just stuck Gary O'Neill into the middle of the park from the right-hand side with Johnson. Karam has run the left. Still 2 up front, no Emnes and Tunchai, who's getting a little bit frustrated. Tunchai get them in the game along with Downing as much as Middlesbrough would like.
Saha, score of Everton's second. Osman, Jagielka, Pinar, good advantage played. No power in the shot.
Again, I mean, that's one of the times I think the advantage is gone. The free kick might have been better for them there.
Stuart Downing, Gary O'Neill, 20 forward for Middlesbrough. Downing thought about the hit. Now it's Hoyt. Easy for Jagielka.
He looks a bit hesitant Downing, and once he shifts it onto his stronger foot, his left one. You mentioned it, John. He thought about the strike. I thought he should have taken it.
O'Neill. Cahill. With acknowledgement from the South African to the Australian.
He does a good job for me, Pina. I like him. His work rate and his work ethic is great. He's got a good ability as well. He does a really good job for his side.
Saha. Oh, nearly for Fellaini.
Yeah, they stepped up. Centre half stepped up again. The pair of them, Pogatet's didn't play them on. A little bit too fast, too hard the ball through to Fellaini there, or he was in.
Passes a bit of a premium today. Saha, it's a nice turn. Fellaini. Pinar. Fellaini. Saha! It was a deflection. It'll be a corner.
Oh, that was a good battle, wasn't it? Fellaini and Robert Hoot here. You can see Everton player comes out on top. Nice position for Saha on his strong left foot as well. Just takes a deflection and just takes it wide. And they're looking for that third goal, Everton. That'll just kill this game off. Can they get it? Can they put Brad Jones under pressure again? In swinging from Baines, I would imagine. Make the goalkeeper work.
He It is Baines. Into a perfect area. Volleyed clear by Tunchai. Adam Johnson. Emnes, he can turn and run. Middlesbrough quick to get men forward. Makes that a dreadful pass.
He's got three players, you know, on the right-hand side, and they just delayed and delayed. Put his head up there, and they've got half a chance at the back post.
Pina. Saha straight offside. Fellaini. Pina. Shoot, it's a corner.
Saha wanted that ball early, you know, that's why he made the run there. I think it was on to slip him in as well, but he strayed offside in the end because the ball wasn't played first time. He was a bit frustrated with that. It's the one thing he does give Everton. He will, you know, he wants to run in behind and use his pace, stretch those legs.
An injury concern here, Everton. Mick Rathbone, the physio, is just behind that left-hand goal, inquiring as to the well-being, I think, possibly of Pienaar. Certainly was relaying a message via Pienaar. Blackburn left back. Goalkeeper hemmed in by Saha. Fellaini marshalled by Hoot. That was Wheater. Quite a long time ago, put Middlesbrough ahead in this tie. 2 goals in 7 minutes early in the second half turned it on its head in Everton's favour at the moment. Fellaini and Saha the scorers. The tale is not yet fully told. Lescott. O'Neill. Downing. Marker. Left by O'Neill for Hoyt. Downing. Oh, it came off Saha. Mayfield for Tunchai. Taken down by the turf. Blocked by Lescott.
Great defending, Julian Lescott there. Very unlucky Tunchai that Breeze held the ball up here as well. Is it getting a right mess? Osman and Saha in there. I just wonder who's going to go for the little back heel there. Do you think it was Gary O'Neill? Warning for Everton, John.
Downing. That's got in the way. O'Neill will sustain Middlesbrough possession now, looking for Downing. No foul. Middlesbrough fans are nervous enough, but the moments recently to cause concern for Evertonians too.
Just got a little bit deeper, Everton have noticed in the last 5 minutes or so. That's just invited a bit of trouble onto them. That's what David Moyes is saying, is get up, he's saying push up, don't sit in the edge of your box, that's dangerous.
Tunchai, Hoot, Kovacic, and now Johnson. Arker. O'Neill. Johnson testing out Jagielka. He was not found wanting. It'll be though a corner. Gary O'Neill. Robert Hoot not quite. Downing. Arker, it was to his right foot, he wanted it on his left. Stuart Downing. Downing couldn't keep it down. Still the patient instructions from the bench.
What he was saying there was just get it wide. Look at the goals here. Rita's one seems a long time ago, as you said. Keeper in no man's land. Big Fellaini gets the head on it, and then a wonderful ball in here. And the half-time sub, Saha, lovely little flick. Again, you can look at the goalkeeper's position, but I think you've got to go on the side of the fact that it was a quality ball in and a very good header. And at the moment, it's taken Everton to the semis.
Yobo. And all the urgency is coming from Middlesbrough.
I was watching Gareth Southgate, he was saying get it wide, stick it out to Johnson, get it out to him, stretch them, get some balls in the box.
Hoot. Downing to Hoyt. Seeking to close this quarter-final tie-out. Pienaar looks for Saha. Cross came Kogatetz. Out came Jones. Space for Osman. Not that far away.
No, I think it's one of those efforts that he's sort of half-hearted, going for the goal, hoping that somebody's going to take a chance at the back post. Just because of the angle he's at there, Osman's very difficult to score, and possibly if Fellaini sticks one of those big legs out of the back, he may get himself a goal.
There's a man who knows what it takes to get to an FA Cup final. Malcolm Crosby guided Sunderland there in 1992. Sitting up top alongside Colin Cooper. Constant communication with the Middlesbrough bench.
Lovely guy, Malcolm, as well, isn't he? I'll work with him for a short spell towards the end of my career.
Football's true gentleman, Malcolm Crosby. Neville. Pienaar. It's Jagielka. Right back finds the other, Justin Hoyt. This is where Middlesbrough needs someone to produce, and maybe that someone is Stuart Downing. It's a very good run. Hemnes with the shot, big appeal for hands. O'Neill's back heel, Adam Johnson, away by Jagielka. Saha. Wait for support was fruitful. Pienaar. Fellaini.
Lucky with Hemnes, wasn't he? Flushed it straight against Lescott again. It's his second or third block in the game. Pace from this man down there.
Marvin Hemnes. It's deflected. They've dealt with it. Arca. The possession for Middlesbrough. Good lead by Pienaar. Saha. Osman, who shortly is to be replaced. Jagielka. Saha. Chance for Louis Saha. Really good chance for Louis Saha.
Yeah, could have just wound this game up. His first touch is, well, it's pretty awful for a player of that standard, because he's trying to get it on his left foot and he does exactly the opposite. He gets caught under him, sticks it on his right peg, and he had lots of time just to shift it half a yard to his left here and get a strike. So his first touch really stuffs him up to start with, and then it's caught under his feet here, and he's always struggling then after that.
Middlesbrough have pushed Wheater forward now on a more permanent basis. Fellaini. Oh, goalkeeper stumbled. Zaha in. Fellaini. Middlesbrough very lucky to get away with it.
Well, the goalkeeper's had a beast of a second half, hasn't he, really? And again, that was a great chance. I wondered about Fellaini there when he got that touch at the end, John, whether he might have gone down here. You see the keeper stumbling here. Zaha's onto it, really sharp. To be fair to Brad Jones, he gets himself out of it. Decent save with his legs in the end. Standing ovation for Pinar, who's had another fine game.
Yep, they've changed their minds over the sub. It was going to be Osman coming off. Instead of the right-sided player, it's the left-sided. And Dan Gosling, whose goal helped Everton on their way in this cup run in the 118th minute to see off Liverpool, comes on for the final few moments.
Well, they're going to rue those misses, because you certainly felt the one that Zaha got stuck under his feet. If he gets it on his left peg, well, you're thinking goal from that type of position.
And there's free kick. Preliminary discussions involving referee and fourth official suggest at least 4 additional minutes here, so there'll be plenty more of that. Kelsey is pacing out the 10 yards. Surprise, surprise. His paces take him about 3 yards beyond the wall.
The fourth official signal will be 4 minutes.
Disquiet from Evertonians. It's O'Neill. Oh, it's swerved! In this! Couldn't turn it in. Well, that ball seemed to do strange things right in front of Tim Howard.
What a chance that was, and it certainly moved. You'll get a great view from this angle here. Well, it doesn't move that much, does it? Let's be honest about it. It's not great from the goalkeeper.
Maybe a little bit of reverse swing, but now on the counter, Everton have the chance to strike the terminal blow. Zaha. Wasted. Cahill. Gosling now. Gary O'Neill can't prevent the corner. Oh, and he's furious. Apparently with the referee. And he's presented the ball to Gosling, trying to minimise any possible time wasting.
They're going to take it short, aren't they? Well, Cahill's coming over. They're wasting a bit of time.
Cahill. Kelsey not allowing any time for hacking at ankles.
Just going back to that free kick, it moved, but not like it moved as much as we first thought.
Well, that was in tandem with so much of what we've seen from the goalkeepers today.
Well, it did move a little bit, to be fair, but I mean, I still think he's got to be doing better than that. He got away with it, that's for sure.
What were we saying about goalkeepers? One has just been given the opportunity, as you watch that replay, to take a free kick, and Brad Jones has punted it straight into touch.
Well, there's one of those second halves where you just go home, you get the paracetamol, you pull the curtains, you get yourself in bed, and you try and get it out of your head.
At the back of Leighton Baines, the Gladys Street end, in full voice, anticipating a visit to Wembley for an FA Cup semi-final. Arkin. Hoot. It's Yobo. Fellaini leaps early. Came off an arm there from Hoyt. Robert Hoot, free kick Middlesbrough. Just over a minute to play.
Yeah, they'll just ban this forward here if we've got any sense. Might as well send everybody forward here.
There's almost a case for the keeper as well, but there wasn't time for that. Baines will want that. Could have cleared it, didn't. Cahill. Oh, Arca's misjudgment. Numbers here for Everton. Fellaini. Well, Everton have had the opportunity to put this beyond Middlesbrough. Arca, Stuart Downing, crescendo of whistles, Evertonian whistles. Downing in, Osman out. Less than 30 seconds. Julio Arca. O'Neill to Adam Johnson. Frantic finish here. Johnson, corner. A last hurrah for the Borough.
Keeper's coming up, he's just asked. Gareth Southgate said, get yourself up there.
The referee's blown. Mark Halsey won't allow the time for the corner to be taken. Middlesbrough argue their case, but Everton are through to the FA Cup semi-final. Only Manchester United and Arsenal have reached that stage more often, but Everton have turned this around courtesy of that half-time change. Zaha on, he scored the winner. It is Everton who go through, and Middlesbrough who now face only a grim struggle for Premier League survival.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that Mark House didn't allow that corner kick to be taken. The 4 minutes of allocated added time hadn't been played and Middlesbrough did have a corner, but I suppose the story is Everton. They didn't have a very good first half. Brad Jones didn't have a very good second half. There was a 10-minute spell at the start of the second half. Once they made the substitution, Everton, they brought Zaha on. They looked a different side. They were more positive. They got their noses in front. It was tough at the end for them, John. They put a lot of pressure on themselves with defending. Middlesbrough had a go, but they just fell short.
Chelsea are through. Manchester United are through. Bill Canwright's Everton are through. The big boys are rediscovering their grip on the FA Cup after an intervention by the Minnows last season. Everton through to the last four for the first time since they won the Cup in 1995. Thumbs up from the impresario, approval from the supporters. One of the famous old clubs of English football enjoying the good times again and heading to Wembley Stadium for an FA Cup semi-final. For once, it is the blue half of this footballing city that can celebrate and can smile. Full-time score after a gripping second half. Everton 2, Middlesbrough 1.
Goodison Park. Who saw that second half coming? Everton were a different side in the second 45. They came from behind and did it to make the last four for the 24th time. Let's get some Everton reaction from Phil Neville and Louis Zaha, who are both with Dan.
Phil, very well done after a 14-year wait. Everton are back at Wembley. How good does that sound?
It's great. We're all happy. It was first half was one of the poorest performances of our season, and you can play for all your tactics you want. It's about being brave out there. And second half we showed the real Everton, and we're not just going to the semi-final now. We want to actually win the trophy, and that's been our aim right from the word go. I know the fans will enjoy going out at Wembley now, but we want to go all the way.
Yeah, the fans have had a long wait. As I said, semi-final last time was 1995. Just how pleased are you for them?
Magnificent. They've been great throughout the cup run, throughout the season this season, and I think we've had to do it the hard way. I think if any team deserves to get to the semi-final, it's us with the teams that we've played. If we produce performances like we did in the second half, then we're going to go to the semi-final and enjoy ourselves.
As you say, a poor first half, but the man standing next to you, Louis Zaha, helped turn it around. Just how big a role did he play?
Well, I think everyone knows his quality, and the lads in the dressing room are so happy now he's back firing. He's won us a couple of games already in the last couple of weeks. He's going to be vital for us. If we're going to be successful this season, we're going to need this man next to us firing on all cylinders.
Louis, tell us how it feels to score the winning goal, because it was a big goal. It got Everton to Wembley.
It's a great feeling. Obviously, I think all that is it's amazing to have some teammates who show great commitment and help you through difficult times. And I think shows that in the first half we didn't play well, but in the second half we reacted very well. So it's about the spirit, and it's great to be here.
You could have had a second goal as well.
A few, I think.
The captain's harsh.
Yeah, but my feet is a bit still stick on the floor right now. So it's great to get back to Wembley, and obviously playing here is always special.
Phil, you know what it takes. You've tasted FA Cup glory with Manchester United. Do you get the sense that this is Everton's year? You can do this?
Well, I think from the minute we I think the minute we drew Liverpool in the cup and then we beat them, I think all our fans were saying it's going to be our year, and we're at the semi-final now, one step to go. And like I said, we're going to enjoy the semi-final, but we want to actually bring silverware to this club. It's been too long since we won silverware, and now's the time to step up and be men.
You'll find out who you'll be playing in a few minutes' time. Who do you want in the semi-final?
Dear me, it's going to be
Man United?
It's going to be a tough draw. I watched Man United last night and they were awesome, so there's going to be some great ties. Chelsea, Arsenal, Hull or Man United. Anyone we get, we've done it the hard way, so it's probably going to be Man United.
Fellas, thanks for your time. Well done. Louis, you are the man of the match. Phil, if you can do the honours for us, we'd be grateful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Top man.
Well done, guys. David, well done. After 14 years, Everton are back at Wembley for an FA Cup semi-final. How good does that sound?
Well, it's great to be in a semi-final. I'm really looking forward to it. It was a real tough game today, and I knew one of these games this week I think wouldn't go to plan. I hoped it wouldn't be ours, and for the first half I thought it was going to be ours. But after talking to at half time by the staff members, the players showed what they were really about in the second half, and I thought for 10-15 minutes they really after Middlesbrough and got the 2 goals.
What did you tell your players at half time, David? Because whatever it was, it did the trick.
Well, it certainly couldn't be talked about here, and it certainly wasn't as calm as I'm talking to you, that's for sure. But I've got to say, Steve Round done a great job on them as well at half time, and we just needed them livened up. It wasn't Everton in the first half. We understand we're probably not quite where we were maybe a few weeks ago, but that was further away than I'd ever been, so I had to make sure we get back to at least being the Everton I know we can.
You brought Louis Sahar on, and within 10 minutes you were leading 2-1. He got the winner in the end. How big a difference did he make, do you think?
Well, I told you before, I thought maybe 20-30 minutes, it ended up 45. It wasn't by plan. He came on, made a great difference, scored one, should have seen the game off 5 minutes before the end, but his goal was vitally important. You could see the difference. We've missed the centre forwards, we know that. We've tried to play without them for a big part of the season. We'd rather not, but we've got no other choice. But maybe if we can get Louis as fit and as sharp as he was today, then it'll make a big difference to us.
And so Everton's cup run continues, this great cup run. How good a chance, David, do you think you have realistically of winning this competition now?
Well, it's an easy question to ask me when I've just gone through. It's tough because of the teams we've got to play. But why not? Semi-finals. I would prefer the semi-finals to be away from Wembley. I don't think it suits. I don't think MD really likes it. But it's there, so we'll go. I wanted to go in a final, not a semi-final. But whoever we get, we'll go in. I'm sure they won't enjoy playing against Everton.
Who do you want?
Who do I want? Well, at the moment there's only a short amount of teams to pick from, and I'll just take my luck whatever I get.
We'll see, David. Good luck. Thank you.